Federal authorities moved quickly over the last 48 hours to find and arrest Lil Durk, whose real name is Durk Banks. Prosecutors say Banks even tried fleeing the country after 5 of his alleged co-conspirators were arrested just this week. Banks was arrested in Florida Thursday, facing charges of conspiracy to commit murder for hire and conspiracy to use facilities for murder for hire. The 32-year-old was arrested after 5 members of his Only the Family group, also known as OTF, were indicted by a California grand jury this week on charges of conspiracy to commit murder for hire.
We knew when the others were charged that it was a conspiracy and there were multiple players in it. The fact that he's now been charged in such close proximity to those other charges suggests, of course, that this is related to them and that the conspiracy is even wider than originally presented.
Court documents allege that Banks paid for and planned out the attempted murder of rival rapper Quando Rando in Los Angeles in retaliation for the murder of OTF rapper Davon Bennett, also known as King Von. Prosecutors say hitmen hired by Banks opened fire on Rondo in August of 2022 while he and a cousin were near their vehicle at a gas station in LA. Rondo survived, but his cousin was killed. Now, as prosecutors move forward with the case, members of the OTF group will likely be used to try and turn a conviction.
They will almost certainly be looking to flip someone who's in on the conspiracy and use their testimony against other defendants. Maybe there's a wiretap here. There may be undercover recordings. All those pieces will come together to make the case against the defendants.
Prosecutors also accused Banks of trying to flee the country this week after his alleged co-conspirators were arrested. They say Banks booked multiple international flights, which he never boarded. Then, Banks allegedly had plans to board a private jet Thursday, departing from Miami to Italy before he was arrested. This arrest also comes after Banks was recently given the keys to the village of Bellwood and Broadview. Today, the mayor of Broadview responding with a statement saying in part, "The village of Broadview is withdrawing our honorary key to the village granted to Durk and is terminating our partnership agreement with his youth organization. As mayor, protecting Broadview's interests and upholding the values of residents is job number 1. Lil Durk's team has not responded to our request for comment. We also learned today that Lil Durk donated $150,000 to Mayor Brandon Johnson's campaign in the past. We'll hear the mayor's reaction to today's news ahead on our news at 5.
Ravi, Lil Durk, whose real name is Durk Banks, made a $150,000 campaign donation to Mayor Brandon Johnson shortly after Johnson took office last year. What Johnson plans to do with the money, though, remains unclear. Mayor Brandon Johnson facing scrutiny today about his connection to well-known Chicago rapper Lil Durk. The mayor saying he knows few details about the murder for hire charges Lil Durk is now facing, but noted the rapper's philanthropic work in the city.
Lil Durk's mission to build financial literacy for children across the city and making other critical investments for the children of the city is where his heart has been.
The rapper, whose real name is Durk Banks, runs a Chicago-based charity called Neighborhood Heroes, but he also operates a music company. According to state records, in June of 2023, The Voice Touring LLC, which lists Banks as the manager, donated $150,000 to Mayor Brandon Johnson's campaign.
Do you feel like you should donate that to charity or do something with that money? Is it tainted?
Well, I mean, look, I don't operate in feelings. I operate in truth and justice. And again, I don't know all the circumstances around these accusations.
When pressed about Banks' donation, the mayor deferred once again.
If you're asking me if I should make a judgment on a black man before a full trial has actually come to fruition, I hope you do understand why it is not my position to determine the outcome of someone's life.
Banks, through his charity work, has been connected to many well-known people in Chicago and elsewhere. ABC 7 legal analyst Gil Sofer says no one should jump to any conclusions.
We're a long way from being able to judge whether there's any exposure, criminal exposure to political officials. I mean, odds are that this case is focusing on this violent crime that's been charged and that all the rest is noise.
And when I pressed the mayor on the optics of keeping the donation, I got cut off. Then he moved on to another question, but clearly this is something that he's going to have to deal with at some point down the road. Give us answers about what he's going to do with the money.
That's a question that had to be asked.
Yep.
All right, Craig. Thank you. Well, just days after performing at the United Center, Chicago rapper Lil Durk has been arrested in Florida on a murder-for-hire charge.
Lil Durk, whose real name is Durk Devontae Banks, is being held without bail. 5 men from Chicago connected to his record label have also been picked up. They're accused of being hired to kill a rival rapper, Quando Rando, in 2022 for his alleged role in the killing of Chicago Hill rapper King Von 2 years earlier. Prosecutors say flights and rental cars tied the label to the crime. And Banks was once charged in a shooting in Atlanta. However, those charges got dropped. He's also facing a lawsuit from FBG Duck's mom, who says Banks and his record label made money from her son's murder.
Well, last week, the mayors of suburban Broadview and Bellwood presented the rapper with keys to their villages in partnership with his Neighborhood Heroes Foundation, which supports Chicago youth by promoting education and violence prevention. In a Facebook post, Broadview Mayor Katrina Thompson said she's withdrawing that key and ending the village's partnership with his foundation. The statement reading in part, while the American system of justice grants everyone the presumption of innocence until proven guilty in a court of law, in the village of Broadview, the court of public opinion of residents has even higher moral and ethical standards of behavior. As mayor, protecting Broadview's interests and upholding the values of residents is job number 1.